In this video, I'm going to show you why fear is Satan's most sophisticated weapon. Most people believe that fear is simply an emotion, but it's not just an emotion, it's a strategy. It's a form of strategy in warfare. And the first way that Satan uses fear as a form of weaponization against you is through intellectualized doubt. Most of the time, when we're about to do something, we talk ourselves out of it before anybody else has opportunity to talk us out of it. Whether or not, why hadn't I started that business? Why hadn't I went ahead and took that job? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Every single time that there's something that you seek to do or want to do, or that's genuinely the thing that's going to propel you into the next version of yourself, there are those subtle thoughts, and it's fear disguising itself in the mask of doubt. And that doubt gets intellectualized with how much you know, being a realist, looking at statistics. Because a lot of the time, it's not about the idea that you doubt, it's you that you doubt working through the idea. And the reason for why we got to understand this thing about fear is because fear versus faith, faith versus fear versus faith versus fear. That's the first pillar anybody has to walk through before they even begin to understand themselves as far as what are their highest values, what really matters to you, what do you really care about. If you were to summarize your whole thought life, what's the thing that you majority of the time think about when you're in your idle thought daydreaming? What's the thing that occupies your mind that gives you goosebumps when you think of your level of potential? See, you can't even get to understanding your highest values because when we understand our highest values, that's where we can start to articulate and trace our own unique gifts. What I'm good at, what I want to do, what I think that I can find my place in this world and serve supreme value, build myself up to be the best version of myself so that I can then deploy that version of myself. That's when we're talking about vision. And only through understanding the vision will you have the kind of discipline that actually begins to articulate a purpose. But that weapon I told you about, fear, all it has to do is delay you. Fear is the gatekeeper of purpose because the same way that you can put a funny animal near a door next to a dog, and the dog will not walk past that door because for some odd reason that don't look right. He's afraid of it. And so fear acts as a guard to our purpose. The same way you're looking at the statue and you don't want the statue to move, you don't want the statue to mess around and come alive and stop you from something. When people are afraid, when you walk past that same thing that you're afraid of, whether it be a snake in the grass and you know it's in the middle of your trail, maybe he not messing with me, maybe I'm not messing with it, but then you decide to walk past anyway. Now you're looking at it and you walking by, but you still had to walk past that in the midst of your fear. You know, because at the end of the day, when you look at faith versus fear, you have to understand that fear is a form of worship. What you mean by that, Zay? What I mean by that is whatever you fear, you obey. And whatever it is that you obey, you serve. So you have to ask yourself, am I serving my faith or am I serving my fear? Now, a lot of people who consider themselves faithless or believers or unbelievers, what you have to understand is at all times you're serving something. And when you serving whether or not you know you're serving something, at the end of the day, if your purpose is in emptying your cup before you get out of here, if you want to maximize your potential on this earth, you first got to start looking on the inside for what are the things that are stopping me from dropping my clothing line? What's stopping me from dropping the channel? What am I afraid of? Why do I care about what other people think? What kind of intellectualized doubt have you formed about some of the dreams and visions that you already said you were going to do in 2025? We're already almost 50% year, 50% done with the year. And so you have to understand that pain is not the best teacher. Now, being that we all disobedient, pain is oftentimes characterized as the best teacher because people learn very well from pain. They call it pain compliance. But the truth is, you were never designed to learn from your traumas or what other people say, the school of hard knocks. You were never designed to learn by experience. You gain experiences as you chronologically live, but you were designed to learn by faith, by listening, by being obedient. Because what fear does is it delays you from executing on the thing that you're designed to be obedient to. So Satan doesn't care about possessing you with a demon. He doesn't need to. If all he needs to do is to delay you, well, here's the truth about the reality. The reality is delayed obedience is disobedience. And so a lot of the time we think that we're serving a God that's delaying our manifestation, but the whole time we're serving a God of disobedience. We're not even doing what we're supposed to be doing. And we're afraid. We're scared. We're allowing our intellectualized doubt mask itself into our thoughts. So now you got a week that went by. You just got done telling your partner about an idea that you had. A week goes by. You haven't put pen to paper. You haven't done anything. Where's your business? Where's your YouTube channel? Where's the Instagram channel? Where's the Faceless channel? Where's them hot plates that you could have been selling? You don't need more motivation. You just need maturity. Because maturity is understanding that most people go through the life of this world psyoped and focused on, I'm going to go fulfill 40 to 60 hours of work this week. And then I'm going to go pay bills and party or whatever I'm going to do to unwind. And it's a repetitive cycle. And we all know that retirement doesn't exist. We all know that this is not going to satisfy the life that we want. We all know it's not going to give us the retirement for our mothers and fathers that we want to give them. So in 2025, when we got AI, we got all these opportunities, all these things that are tools for you to manifest and deploy yourself. You have everything you need to discover the real values within yourself for what you need to do to apply that to a vision so that you can obtain some form of discipline and getting daily actions and measurable results. On the other hand, it could be you stepping into developing the skills that you already know that you have so that we can get to the third phase, which is deployment, deploying ourselves with our gifts, with our talents, with the things that we worked hard to build, and then serving that to the world. That's where your money is. That's where your value is. That's where your respect is. That's where your fulfillment is, because it's all wrapped up into your purpose. So remember, you don't need no more motivation. You need maturity. Even if that means being afraid or being fearful while moving forward. Because faith is not the absence of fear. That's where courage comes in. It's action in the midst of it. Fear is not the enemy of success. It's the enemy of obedience. And once you understand that God blesses obedience, not delayed obedience, you are about to legitimately transform your entire perception of anything that you want to do in this world. Fear is not here to scare you. It's to govern you. It's to keep you distracted, disobedient, and delayed. Until you start walking past fear and walking in that faith of the vision, of the dream, of the values, of the principle, of the daily action, all those things, that's when you're going to start to see that purpose start to wake up. So drop a comment and share what kind of fears are holding you back. This is Isaiah Gilbert with IGPOV. Subscribe and tune in for the next show.